Hi, welcome to Verbling. My name is Hamish. In this hour, we are going to take a good look at the speaking section of the TOEFL exam, and in particular, we're going to look at that very first question in the TOEFL exam. These first 2 minutes, of course, if you don't know by now, these first 2 minutes of a Verbling class are for Verbling premium users. That means if you have that premium membership, you can come in and join the class in those first 2 minutes. Otherwise, you need to wait for 2 minutes for me to keep talking away. But if you do want to make sure you get a place in the classes that are most important to you, please consider taking a Verbling membership. Let me just get some links up here while we wait for everyone else to arrive. I just want to give you the link for the official TOEFL website. There we go. Let me put that there in the chat box. Let's see if I have anything else for you, I think. Oh, and also, yes, if you've got any problems with your Google Hangout today, any problems with the sound or the video, hearing us or us hearing you, take a look at that Google link, and that might fix whatever's ailing you at the moment. We'll see. Sometimes we have technical problems, sometimes we don't. So, hey, let me say hello to everyone who's already here in the classroom. First of all, let me say hello to... who is here first? Oh, I can't tell. Let me say hello to Luri. Hello, Luri.
Hello.
Hello, this way.
Oh, let me try Luri first of all. Luri, hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Luri, where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Ukraine, great. And tell me, how's the weather in Ukraine?
Now weather is very good, sunny and warm.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. And Luri, tell me, are you planning to take the TOEFL exam, or do you just want to improve your English with us?
Oh, I want to improve my English.
Okay, well, it's good to have you in class, Luri. Thanks for joining us today. Let me say hello next to Ali Akbar. Hello, Ali.
Hi.
How are you today?
Thanks, fine, sir. And how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm seeing blue skies out my window, outside my window, so I'm not too bad.
That's
Ali,
perfect.
it is. It's all right, isn't it? Well, it's Monday, so
yes.
Let's hope it continues like that. Ali, thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to practicing with you. Now, oh, we have a full class. Let me keep going here and say hello to everyone, and then we'll get going. Let's see, Ezekiel. Hello, Ezekiel.
Hi, Hamish. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
And Ezekiel, tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Argentina, South America.
Okay, and welcome to Verbling. Are you do you want to practice? Are you going? Let me start again. Are you planning on taking the TOEFL exam, or are you here just to practice your English today?
No, I want to take the TOEFL exam.
Great.
But
okay.
I'm starting the preparation process. I will take the TOEFL exam on November. Or
okay.
November.
And
in November or on November?
In November. Yeah. So in for a month and on for a day. And tell me why do you want to take why do you need to take the TOEFL?
Yes, because I'm finishing my career, my bachelor, and I think that it's very useful to have this exam to apply a job or to do a master or a PhD. All of the most important universities ask for these kind of exams.
Okay, and that sounds like a good reason. And you're right. A lot of schools, especially universities and colleges in the United States and English-speaking countries, they'll often ask for a TOEFL score. Sometimes you have a choice. Sometimes you can choose between a TOEFL and an IELTS, things like that.
The most common.
The most common in the United States, absolutely, in North America. So if you want to go to that area, then it's very likely that a TOEFL score would be helpful for you. Well, Ezekiel, thank you for joining us today. Let me say hello also to. I've just got a B. B Ram. Hello, B.
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you.
And B, tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Tunisia.
Tunisia. Okay, very nice to meet you. Welcome to Verbling. I look forward to practicing with you, B. Let me say hello to everybody else and we will get started. Mustafa, hello Mustafa.
Hello, teacher.
How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. How's the weather with you, Mustafa?
Yes, it's sunny in school. It's spring.
I know. Thank goodness. It's pretty tremendous. Mustafa, thank you so much for joining us. It's good to see you here in class again. Let me say hello to Pedro. Hello, Pedro.
Hello, teacher.
How are you today?
I'm kind of nervous because I have a test in a few hours, so
Oh,
I'm
great.
studying. Not to English, to college.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what test do you have then today?
It's electromagnetism
Oh my
test.
goodness. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
a marine engineer student.
Okay. Interesting. Marine engineer. Well,
Yeah, I'm taking this class so I can practice the TOEFL. I'm taking next week the class.
okay.
And I'm using this car to go to Birmingham, on England.
Oh, really? Oh,
Oh,
fantastic.
I hope so.
No, of course you do. I mean, yeah, and I think that's it's definitely positive to say that these things are going to happen. Absolutely. Well, that's really interesting. I'm glad to have you in class, and I hope
Thanks.
we have some useful listening and speaking as well for you today. Let me also say hello and welcome back to Raphael. Hello, Raphael. How are you?
I'm pretty good too. I'm glad to join your class and learn a lot.
Yeah.
As ever, you guys.
Absolutely. No, welcome to class, Raphael. It's really nice to hear your voice again on this Monday morning / Monday afternoon. Let me also say hello to. Oh, you have to help me with this one. Is it a? No, I can't do it. You tell me. How do I say your name?
I think it's Jinyue. Jinyue.
Is it a Jingyue? You may not have your microphone on. I can't hear you yet, and unfortunately, I'm no good at some names. I've got a Zhang for the last.
Sir.
Hello, tell me how do I say your name?
My name is Zheng Yu.
Zing Yu?
Mm.
That tells me that I did that horribly. I'm sorry. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Okay, and
Thank you.
where are you from?
I'm from China.
Okay, welcome to Verbling. Welcome to this class. I look forward to hearing some of your answers today. Let me, last of all, and again, you need to help me with this one. Yeah,
Sure.
you need to help. Yes, what's up?
I have hand a few of lessons you teach, but I am an outsider. You teach very well.
Oh,
Your
I appreciate it. Oh, okay.
is very charming.
Okay.
Your accent is very charming.
Well, yours is too. Yours is too. No one in my family thinks my accent is charming. I promise you. But it's kind of you to say so. Thank you. And so you've been watching some of these classes, and I appreciate that feedback. Thank you for that. Last but not least, let me say hello. And
hello.
How do I say your name?
My name is Nazim, or Najim.
Okay, Nadine. Okay, got it. Where are you from?
I'm from Kazakhstan.
Okay, great. And tell me, are you planning on taking the TOEFL, or are you just here to practice your English with us?
I want to prove and practice my English speaking.
Okay. Okay. Well, then that's the.
That's all.
Okay. This and the sound is not perfect with you today, but I hope that we'll be able to hear you well so that we can practice. Okay. Let's get started. Right. So we're looking at question 1 of the TOEFL exam. Different to question 2 because question 1. You don't need to choose between 2 things. You just need to give your personal view, and that could be. Well, let me look at my examples here. That could be about who you want to go on holiday with. It could be about a childhood memory. It could be about a member of your family, or perhaps a teacher or someone at work who has inspired you. It could just be could be about a favorite book or a favorite movie. But the most important thing about the question 1 questions are, We need to give a direct answer. And all of these questions are questions that only you can answer. These are not questions that these are not answers we can look up in a book or do the research on. They're just personal opinions or personal memories that only we can give the answer to. And it's absolutely, it's you that they want the information from. We can't start speaking generally about what other people might want to read in a book or a movie, even if that might be interesting. We need to make sure that we're talking about ourselves and what we want or what we like, or of course what we don't like as well. Remind me, class, how much time do we have to prepare our answer for question 1?
I think it's under 1 minute, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 45 seconds, I think.
15.
Yeah.
15 seconds, there we go.
And 45.
So 15 to prepare, which is nothing, right? That's a very short amount of time, and that makes it difficult. That's why we need to practice this, because that's not a natural thing. People don't ask you, hey, 15 seconds, answer my question. Not at all. So it's difficult to do this, but of course with practice we're going to get better. With correct practice we're going to get better. So 15 seconds to prepare. I'm getting a little bit of noise from over in China there. Let me take that out for a second. 15 seconds to prepare, and then to give our answer, 45 seconds, as I think I heard just a little moment ago. 45 seconds to speak. So 15 to prepare, 45 seconds to give our answer. What happens, we have our answer, we're speaking 45 seconds. What if we take 50 seconds or 55 seconds? What happens to the rest of our answer?
It's cut off.
Absolutely, Pedro, you're absolutely right. They're just never going to hear it. So because we'll be using, of course, a computer, almost like we're doing now with our headphones and our microphone and the monitor. After 45 seconds, we'll get a or whatever noise they like. Do they want to make that day? Maybe, hopefully, nothing too extraordinary. And we're just going to lose the rest of that. And of course, it will roll on to question 2, and we'll need to catch up. So important when we're practicing, either in a class like this, or by yourself, or with a friend, or with another student who wants to take the exam, or someone who's taken the exam and who can give you some advice on how best to prepare for this thing. Whatever you're doing, make sure that you're using a stopwatch. And of course, hey, on the phone, on a computer, on a clock, on the wall, that doesn't matter. But make sure you're strict with that timing, because we absolutely have to feel that 15 seconds and feel that 45 seconds as well, so that we know, okay, yes, we're running out of time, or we just need a good experience of planning an answer to a question like this in just 15 seconds. Because I think even, of course, for a native speaker, that would still be a challenging thing to do. And this TOEFL exam, of course, yes, we need good English to get a good TOEFL score. We also need to prepare very well to get a TOEFL score. So maybe the bad news, this is hard work to get a good TOEFL score. The good news, this is something you can do, right? We work hard, we prepare well, we learn our own strategies, and we can be successful in the TOEFL.
I like hard work. I want to challenge hard work.
I'm glad at least one of us does. I'm on a Monday morning, I never like hard work, but I appreciate your attitude. Let me get started with some questions. So I'm going to ask all of you different questions today, okay? But of course we'll all get a chance to see the question, because I will put it in the chat box, and we'll all get a chance to listen to a student giving their answer, and we can talk about that and move on. But I want to give you a good variety of questions today. I want to
sir.
Yeah.
Sir. Now you speak very fast. My question is that your speaking speed is normal or not normal?
My speaking speed. My speaking speed is at least is pretty average. Yeah. But it depends. It depends where you're speaking. I mean, talking speed, of course, if you're talking with friends or family, that can be very fast. talking speed if you're talking in a classroom or in a job interview or in a formal situation, well, that tends to be slower. And for the TOEFL exam, if we're wondering about talking speed, it makes sense to think of a formal situation. These questions, they don't sound like formal questions. You know, a favorite book or a movie, well, that sounds like the kind of question a friend or someone you've just met in a social situation might ask. So it's a little strange. We're having to answer informal sounding questions in a formal way. But yes, if you're wondering about talking speed, try to imagine or think about talking in a job interview, for example, or perhaps you're in a class and a teacher or a lecturer is calling on you to give an answer, and you want to make sure, well, that you're not speaking too slowly, but also you're not talking too quickly, because yes, absolutely, it's important for everyone around you to understand the answer, and of course, for the clearer and the better pronunciation and the more natural talking speed you're using, the easier it is for the person who checks that recording of your speaking section to understand what you're saying. And if they can understand what you're saying, and if you're giving a direct answer with good details, good examples, you're going to get a better score. Yeah. But then again, I don't pretend that's an easy thing to get right. It takes practice. So each of these questions I am going to put in the Verbally chat box today, if it lets me. I'm hoping the Verbally chat will let me do that today. I saw a request for the Facebook page. Let me put that up first of all. So this isn't a question. That's just a link, so you've got it. There we go. Right. Let me find a first good question for you. Use my slow keyboard skills. All right. First of all, I want to go to Luri. Hello again, Luri. Are you there?
Yeah. Here.
Excellent. Luri, are you happy to practice with us today?
Yes, I am.
Very good answer. Thank you for that. All right. I have a question for you, Luri. And again, please, everybody, when you see that question in the chat box, take a look and think about, well, how do I answer that? What's my best answer? What are my examples? Of course, I'll give Luri 15 seconds to prepare and 45 seconds to give me his answer. So let me put this in the box right
sorry,
here.
But I don't see question. Where can I see it?
Do you have the Verbally chat open?
Yes.
Okay. There's your question. You see the question, okay?
What is your favorite place to visit?
Yeah. Let me read that out to you, Luri, because that's the exam. You're going to hear it in your headphones, okay? So this one's for Luri. What is your favorite place to visit on weekends? Describe it and explain why it is your favorite place to go. Luri, you have 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Your 15 seconds begin now. Okay, Luri, please begin your answer now.
Usually, I prefer spend my free time on weekends visiting forest. Me, my family, and some of my friends go to forest, fire the campfire, and speak and relax. In addition, it is very useful activity because in wood there is much fresh air. It's very useful for our health. It gives us a very good mood, and at the end of this activity, we are very happy and satisfied.
Okay, Luri, thank you for that answer. Yeah, an interesting answer as well. I like that. Luri, what do you think of that question? Is that easy for you to think of the answer, or is that more difficult for you?
actually saying this question is not very difficult for someone, but for me it's a little bit difficult because my speaking practice has declined recently because I didn't have enough possibilities to speak. And, as a result, I have my current speaking ability.
Okay, I got it. No, I liked a lot of the things you talked about there, Lurie, and I want to say absolutely, you gave a description, you gave some details about where this place was, about the forest. You talked about a campfire. You said, and of course, and who you went with. You talked about family, maybe some friends. Those are nice details, and that question is asking for those details to describe the place. Absolutely. And then they ask about why it's your favorite place to go. You give a couple of maybe 2 or 3 examples, talking about a chance to speak and relax, the fresh air, helping your mood, helping your health, all those good things. Those are great things to talk about. So some nice details in that answer. I would, in terms of things that you can improve on, I would say give a clear structure to your answer. So at the start you use the word usually, which is great because you're right, we don't go there. I'm sure we don't go there every single weekend, but we're talking about a favorite place, so we can say usually, and that gives an idea of how often you're going. You give those reasons. You talk about speaking and relaxing, and you talk about the fresh air, all that good stuff. The examiner is going to find it easier, and you want the examiner to find it easier. They'll find it easier to understand your answer if you make it clear how many examples you have or how many reasons you have, and also where you are in your answer. And we can do that just by saying, well, first, it's great for speaking and relaxing and talking, blah, blah, blah. Second, it's healthy. The fresh air helps my mood and helps my physical health, things like that. So just to give a first and a second, or, I have a couple of reasons, to give it that structure is really going to help. And also, and I'm sure everybody...
Sure.
One second. No, 1 second. I'll get you.
Oh.
Yeah. The other thing was to be careful with the timing, and that's something that we all get better with practice. Yeah, because that was about 1:09, and I know we would have lost part of that second reason because of anything over 45. It's going to get chopped off. So be careful with that. I wanted to let you go because I wanted to give you the chance, of course, to finish your answer in a verbaling class, because it's great practice to say the whole thing, but definitely to make your answer even better. Give it that clear structure, and also be careful with that timing as well. But Lurie, thank you first of all for going first, and thank you for practicing as well, because I liked your details and I liked it was a clear answer as well, so I liked that. Thanks, Lurie.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions for me?
Sir.
Yep.
I want to try.
Yeah, I've got you on my list. Okay, I'll come to you, I promise. But I want to go in the order that people came into the classroom. Okay. So who's next? Let me go to Ezekiel. Hello, Ezekiel. You still there?
Yes, I'm seeing.
Excellent. Are you happy to practice with us?
Yes, so happy. It's my first class with you, and it's so interesting.
All right, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad it's interesting so far. And I hope it's all interesting.
But it's true.
Let me again, same story, a different question, of course. So a different question, but the same requirement. 15 seconds to prepare. 45 seconds to give your answer. And again, everybody, this one is for Ezekiel, but please take that chance to prepare your own answer, because that practice you get in those 15 seconds really very, very helpful. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the box. There we go. Ezekiel, your question: what is your happiest childhood memory? Describe it and give reasons to explain why it is your happiest memory. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Your 15 seconds begin now.
answer.
Okay, Ezekiel, please give me your answer now.
Okay, my happiest childhood memory is a trip that we made all my family all together, and we went to Cuba in 1994, and it was pretty amazing because Cuba is a very beautiful place to visit, and I remember that we made so many activities in family. We used to go to the sea. We used to go to some restaurants, and you know, Cuba is so cozy, so friendly, and it's very, very amazing. And it is my favorite or my happiest childhood memory.
All right. Thank you, Ezekiel, and great timing, of course. That was, I think I had 44.3 seconds on my stopwatch there. So great timing, and I know you were keeping an eye on the timing, and that's a really important thing to do.
I was a little nervous, but
well, that's okay. That's okay, because if we want to make a mistake, if we want to, whatever happens, this is just a chance to practice. So there's no problems there. Absolutely fine. I'm glad you did practice with us. What do you think of that question? I mean, you have your 15 seconds to prepare. Is that do you think is that more difficult than the first question for you, or is it easier?
The first question is like more common for me,
okay.
But the happiest childhood is so common too. But it was a little more difficult for me.
Okay. Sorry, just putting it out in the chat. Well, I thought it had a very strong start. And you were very quick to say, it was a very quick and direct answer to the question. And you're talking about that family trip and that sort of vacation. You give the year as well. And again, I would be looking for perhaps a clearer structure in terms of the why. I thought the what, as in, okay, well, in this year we went here and I was with these people. That was very clear. And you gave some details as well. But again, I as the examiner, or the person assessing you're the spoken answer to this question, I would be listening for, well, is this the first part, the first reason? I'm sorry, the first reason now, is this, and then the second reason, and of course for some people they will have 3 reasons with details underneath, but two is the minimum we would be going for. And I thought, and I mean, of course I'm listening to your answer, and I can hear. You talk about, well, one of the memorable things was all those different activities, like going out to the restaurants and being by the sea, things like that. So we can work it out because the English is pretty, that was clear. The pronunciation was clear. But again, they're looking for something quite specific in these answers, and they are looking for a clear structure, and that's TOEFL. TOEFL is always going to be looking for a clear structure, whether it's the written form or the spoken form, because they are looking to make sure that students who want to study, for the most part at North American universities, know how to structure an answer, whether they're saying it or whether they're writing it. So again, they're looking for that clear structure. And in 45 seconds, well, there's not much we can do really. But we can say, well, for one reason, and here's my second reason, and then give that, and that just gives us that clear idea. Gives the listener a clear idea of where we're going. And I would say
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem at all. And yes, and thank you, Ezekiel, for practicing with us. I thought you had the energy. It was an enthusiastic answer and had some good details as well. And it felt honest, and I liked the sound of it. So, and of course, your timing was perfect. So thank you for that, Ezekiel. Thanks for practicing with us. Let me move on to the next. Let me see who was next on my list. It was. There we go. There's B. Hello, B. B Ram. Are you there? I'm waiting. I'm going to give you some seconds, B Ram, to join us.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Thank goodness. Phew. Are you happy to practice with us?
Yes, really. I'm very happy.
Excellent. Okay. Here's a quick question for you, and I'm going to put it in the chat box, the VerbaLink chat, I beg your pardon. And as always, 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to give that answer. Okay. 1 second. There we go. All right. Sorry, I haven't put it in yet. There we go. All right, B. Your question, what is your most important possession? Describe it and say why it is so important. 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to give your answer. Okay, B, please start your answer now.
My most important passion is to practice sport because first it is a manner to be more healthy. Second, with sport I can get off from all stress of the week. And then with sport I can go out from all the stress. That's all.
Okay, B, thanks for that answer. I'm always so happy when someone practices here in class. I'm going to answer that in terms of you know, what is your most important passion, and yes, passion, of course it could be sport, and you could give those reasons about you know, well, maybe fitness, but also you mentioned, you know, relaxation, things like that. So those are good things. Of course, if we look at so if the question is about passion, a passion, that's okay. Of course, the word we're looking at for this one is possession. Who can give me who can explain what possession means for us, please?
It's something you own.
Right. Okay. So for example.
Something you have.
So for example.
Like I have a pen, so the pen is my possession.
Okay. Very nice. Thank you for that. And
my computer.
Mm-hmm. And I have to say, a lot of people give that, of course, because they might be looking at a computer when they when they hear the answer. But computer would be
my
fine.
family.
Not so much. Yeah, that would get tricky. It's really got to be something. I mean, you know, if we're gonna give an answer that's gonna work for this question, something that we possess is also something that we own and touch. So it's really got to be a thing, right? And a thing like that. Of course, it could be, and I would hope it would be something that does have an emotional value. It could be those paintings behind me. Those my grandfather's paintings. So and I inherited those, and those mean a lot to me. But of course, if I choose, I don't know if you can see those. If I choose those paintings behind me, I would have to talk about, you know, what do they look like? What do I see in those paintings? Where did they come from? And why? Why are they the most important thing that I own? It could be something like that. It could be a piece of jewelry. It could even be like a toy. You know, a toy from your childhood. It can be whatever you like, as long as it belongs to you, and as long as you can touch it. Okay, it could absolutely be your computer. There's nothing wrong with giving the computer answer, as long as you can explain clearly why it's the most important thing. I mean, it could be, of course, it could be because, well, that's what I used to earn my living on. It could be that's what I used to do my very important studies with, or keep in touch with family and friends. So lots of good reasons why it could be your computer. But whatever you choose, something you can touch, something that you own, and we need to explain why it's the #1 thing for us. Yeah. But B, I appreciate, in terms of the passion answer, I thought you gave me some interesting it was a short answer, but you gave me some details about that, and I want to say thank you for practicing with us, B, because I absolutely appreciate that. Let me move on to the next in my list today, who is Mustafa. Hello, Mustafa. Are you there?
Yes, hi teacher.
All right. Are you happy to practice with us now?
Sure.
All right. Let me find a question. This one looks pretty good. Again, putting it in the chat box. And 15 seconds to prepare, 45 to speak. Here's your question now. Oh, there we go. Phew. Mustafa, your question: talk about a person who has inspired you. Describe the person and explain why you found him or her inspirational. Let me give you 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Your 15 seconds begin now. Okay, Mustafa, please begin your answer now.
Yes. Okay. So my dad inspired me for several reasons. First reason, he is so nice and kind. He accepts any opinion. He has open mind. So for example, every week we do many argument and debate together, so it's so funny and good. Also, second reason, he is working hard and he is very successful in his life, so that's a reason why I feel in this way.
All right, thank you. Good timing, and an interesting answer as well, Mustafa. Tell me, when you get a question like that, Mustafa, how? Because of course we have to choose someone. We have to think of someone. How much time do you spend, Mustafa, deciding? I mean, was it very quick for you to decide, okay, oh, I'll talk about my father? Or did you have to spend more time to think about, to make your choice?
Actually, there are many persons inspired me in my life, so I just spent some seconds to choose the person.
Okay. Oh, and I understand that completely. I think in one level this is, oh, what a quick question. But in other ways, of course, we could spend all day thinking about the people who have inspired us. Absolutely, I understand that completely. So this one, I think, can be quite difficult when we think, well, who is it going to be? Of course, the truth is, we just need to choose one. And the more that we practice with questions like this, I think the better we get making a choice and then spending our preparation time thinking of the reasons we're going to give. Because of course, yes, the what, that's important. It needs to be clear and direct. But most of our 45 seconds will be taken up with the why, with the reasons why this person has inspired us. So we need to make sure we're well prepared to talk about that. So, sorry, I got a little bit of a rock and roll noise there. 1 second. There we go. All right, and you were working hard, Mustafa, to give us some structure there for your answer, and I heard a first and a second. I like those details about. Well, first you started off talking about nice and kind, but then it was about being open-minded and open to other points of views, and that ability really to have a debate, have an interesting conversation with someone. And second of all, of course, you talked about hard work as well. You have an option. And I'd recommend with a, and I mean this for everybody, it's not just Mustafa, with a question like this, if they're saying, let me find that question again, please, 1 second. Oh yes, why you found him inspirational. If you're talking about someone, for example, who is open-minded, or someone who is very hardworking, then don't forget to say, well, what has that meant for you? I mean, you can describe the person, absolutely, but it's sorry, let me see if I can fix that. Yes, you can describe the person, but it's also really a good idea to talk about. Well, if a hardworking person has inspired you, then let's say, oh, and I'm more hardworking. I find it easier to work hard now as a result because I had this role model. I had this example of someone who is open-minded or who works hard. And so my character is better. I'm a better person because I've been inspired by that. And perhaps give an example, maybe working hard at your studies or at a job, or working hard at family relationships, whatever it is, just to show the effect of that person, because there's no better way to explain why someone is inspirational than, you know, if whenever you hear someone giving a speech about an inspirational teacher or a boss or family member, they'll always say, oh, and yeah, as a result, this is why I'm here today, because they inspired me to do this, this, and this. So to give that kind of detail, and I know it's 45 seconds, we don't have much time to give that answer, but to give one or two examples about how you've changed as a result of that person in your life, that's really going to help. That's really going to make a difference for that answer, and the examiner will be really happy to hear those details, and it's going to move that score up as well. So Mustafa, thank you, by the way. Thank you for that answer. Again, clear, and you gave it a good structure. You gave me some details there. Again, I'm always looking for more details, more examples, but I thought it was a good practice, Mustafa. Thank you, and well done for that one. Yeah.
Thank you, teacher. My pronunciation is good, or I should work more on it?
You can always work more on pronunciation. I was able to hear what you were saying because I took notes on the back of it. You know, if I can't understand, then I can't take those notes. I thought the pronunciation was pretty good, and the structure was good. I'll be looking for more details and just more of an answer to a question like that. So the pronunciation was fine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem. Let me move on. Let's see where we are here. Pedro, thanks for your patience. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, then you are number 5 with us today. Let me find a question for you, Pedro. Let me see.
Okay.
Oh, well, let me correct a typo in that question before I put it in the chat box. There we go. Here we go. Again, in the chat box, another question. And of course, all of these questions have appeared in the TOEFL exam. These are real questions, and after this class, if you're interested in looking at more of these questions, just do that internet search. These questions are freely available. There's no way we can tell the exact question we're going to get, but the more questions we look at, the more we practice with, the bigger variety we do, then the better prepared I would expect, the better prepared we're going to be in the exam. So here's Pedro's question, putting it in the box, 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to answer. Pedro, your question, where do you most like to go eat out? Describe this place and say why you like it most. 15 seconds to prepare, that starts now. Okay, Pedro, please give me your answer now.
The restaurant I most like to go eat out is named Mango. It's a Mexican restaurant, and the reasons I most like to go there, first, I think it's because of the big variety of food. So there's many types of Mexican food and also Australian food. They have live bands. I forgot the name for the live band, but it's a band that plays Mexican music, and goes around the tables asking for what type of music. So that's the main 2 reasons that I like that restaurant. That's it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Pedro. And of course, the timing is good. I knew the timing would be good. I've got 43.8 seconds. That's just right. That's perfect in terms of timing. Let me just finish my notes because you gave me some good examples there. Pedro, what do you think? A question like that, is that easier for you, more difficult? What do you think of that one?
From all the questions you've made until now, this one would be the easiest for me to answer. Because the last one, for the inspirational person, I couldn't think of a person. So I don't know if I could maybe answer... I don't have a inspirational person, but here's the ways I think that has inspired my life to go on this way. I don't think is it right to do that, or I have to think of a person to answer?
That's a great question, Pedro. Thank you for that question. And I do have an answer. The truth is, if this was a natural conversation, and we'll come back to your answer. If this was just an ordinary conversation, and someone said, "Oh, who's your biggest inspiration?" But I would understand completely. Of course, if you were to say, it's not really a person, it's more maybe a series of events or things that have happened or circumstances in my life, that would be a really interesting answer to listen to. In the TOEFL exam, that's not going to work for us.
Okay.
If they just because again they want specific things, and that's not my idea. That's TOEFL's idea, and I understand why they do it. So when they say describe a person who has inspired you, if we don't have a person, we're going to make it up. Okay.
Okay.
and that's okay. That's not cheating. That's not some sneaky thing. They are looking for you. Of course, it's easier if it's a real thing. That comes a little more quickly. But again, let's practice with a variety of these questions, because I promise you that like with Pedro's example just then, for anyone here, there's going to be some questions where you think, oh, I didn't have a favorite song when I was a child. I don't read much. I can't think of a favorite book. So maybe we can't give that absolute, real answer, but we need to give a good answer. So if we don't have a song, if we don't have an inspirational figure, we're going to spend those 15 seconds thinking of, well, how can I answer this question? So pick someone, and then think, what are inspirational things they could do? That's more difficult. But you're going to get a better answer because than going off. If they say describe a person, we have to describe a person, because when you look at the language of these questions, it's never going to be, was there an inspirational person? Did you have a favorite subject? They're not going to ask those because they know the answer they get back is a yes or a no. And I would give a yes or no as well. So yes, we have to stick to the task. Give a direct answer. It's not a truth or honesty test. It is a test of your spoken English. So, but a very good point. I appreciate you bringing that up, because sometimes I forget to mention that. Coming back to your the go out to eat question. I like the structure. I mean, you mentioned first, and then you went on to the second reason. You didn't give me a here's the second reason, but I knew where you were going. So again, the more we practice these, the more prepared we are to say first, second, and that's it. You finished with good timing. You also made it very clear that you were finished, and that actually is a really good thing. If you have a couple of seconds left, just say, oh, and that's my answer, or those are my reasons. And that tells the examiner, that gives the examiner 100% guarantee that you did not run out of time. So you're saying, oh, I know, okay, I've given my answer, we're done, which is a good, confident thing to do. Of course, I like the details. I like you talked about the variety of food. You talked about the live band. You talked about the band comes around to the tables, right, and asks, right. So we can say the band takes requests, well, from customers, I suppose.
Yeah.
That sense of taking requests, of saying, well, what would you like to hear tonight, or do you have a song you'd like us to play? Absolutely. So we have a good phrase like that. Yes, I like the detail. 45 seconds, not much time, but as much detail as you can give about the kind of food. Of course, there's Mexican food, and you mentioned, I think, what was it, some Australian? Yeah, as well. So just a couple of examples, and again, this is about the practice of a question like this. Thinking, so I'm going to mention variety of food. So Mexican food, for example, whether it's burritos or enchiladas or chimichangas, and of course you could mention, well, two of my favorites are. And I know this is difficult just to come up with, and that's why we need to practice these questions, because they're looking for some well-detailed, well-described answers. They want it to be very clear. These examiners, the kind of place you're talking about. I like the details you gave, Pedro. I'm just looking for other things that you might want to talk about. That was all. This was a pretty good one, I have to say. Lastly, and this is a point for everybody. Pedro did something that I always love to hear when I'm listening to these answers. He made a grammatical mistake. He said, he was talking about the food, he said Mexico. Oh, Mexican, and that's really important. Okay, you can afford to make a few small grammatical errors, what makes it better though is if you know you've done it, and if you make that correction. If you make the correction, because we all make mistakes. I'm sure I've made 100 mistakes in class already today. Native English speakers, most languages, we make mistakes all the time if we're speaking spontaneously. And I'd say 15 seconds to prepare, that's still pretty spontaneous. So it's easy to make a mistake, but it's so important, again, and that's part about the talking speed. The faster we talk, the easier it is to get it wrong. So let's keep it at a natural pace. But also, if we do make a mistake, it's so good if we just, oh, hold on, no, that's not right. Oh yeah, Mexican, and carry on. And that shows the examiner, that's a great example of showing the examiner that you're conscious of the language you're using, you're conscious of a mistake you make, and you're able to correct it without, falling apart. And so that's really solid. Because of course, if you make a mistake, if anyone makes a mistake, the examiner will notice, of course. There's no, we can't pretend it didn't happen. But if we notice it and correct it, that's a really solid thing. That they are going to think, very good communicative skills there, very good handle on the English. So that's really good. So if you make a mistake in a question like this, it's not the end of the world. We can afford to make some mistakes. It's when mistakes interfere with understanding, or it's when pronunciation interferes with understanding. If the grammar is so bad that we don't know what the example is, or we don't know what the answer is, then we have a big problem, right? But a couple of grammatical mistakes, especially if we go on to correct those mistakes, that doesn't mean you're not going to get the top score. You could still have a top score and afford to make some mistakes. And if you look at the official list of things that examiners are looking for and how they're grading these tests, you will see they are not looking for perfection, not at all. They're looking for good grammar and good vocabulary, good word choice, good pronunciation. They need a high standard, but it doesn't mean every word that comes out has to be perfectly right. They're really just looking for someone who can communicate in English and answer these questions with good detail and give a direct answer as well. So Pedro,
thank you very much.
No problem at all. For a variety of reasons, that was a really helpful example for us in class today. So thank you for practicing with us. Let me carry on. Let me say, Raphael, you were next on my list. Raphael, are you still there?
Okay.
All right. Are you happy to practice with us?
Yeah, I'm practicing with every question that you have, and it's very interesting.
I'm so glad to hear that. That's a wonderful. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you, Raphael. That's what I hope happens. Okay, let me have a look. Oh yes, here's a good question. Again, putting it in the chat box. Please, everybody, take a look. But I'll ask Raphael to give me his answer.
Oh, time is over. I have no chance to talk.
Well, we've got 8 minutes, so I think you might make it. In fact, you're next on my list after Raphael. So if you can hold it in, then we'll come to you. Okay. All right, Raphael. Here we go. Here's it in the box. Raphael, your question. Who do you feel close to in your family or extended family? Describe this person and say why you feel close to him or her. 15 seconds to prepare your answer. 45 seconds to speak. Okay, Raphael, please begin your answer now.
Well, the most close to me in my family is my brother. My brother is younger than me, 4 years younger, and I'm very close to him because, first of all, he is very funny, and he have a very good sense of humor in everything. Whatever I say him, he take it with humor, and this is very important for me because sometimes I'm very worried about. Secondly, he was very very and also sensible. And for me, it's very important because I need her support many times in the year in my life, and every time he's there to support me, and that is all in that time, I think.
Absolutely. Raphael, thank you for that answer. A very interesting answer. I really like the details, the timing. Yeah, it took a little longer than you had there, so maybe 20 seconds more. But the highlight for me, no, I have some good things to tell you here. The highlight, the best thing for me was not just that you gave 2 clear reasons why you felt closest to him. We talked about, well, he's funny, that sense of humor, but also that he, that he is sensible as well. You didn't just give those reasons, but you explained why that's important for you. Yeah, and in terms you'd be talking about, okay, well, a lot of the time I'm worried, and so I have this brother who can make things, who can give that humorous, that funny angle to something, especially if I'm having a hard time. Well, I wish I had a brother like that. That sounds fantastic. And you also just talked about someone who is able to be sensible and able to help you, and when things are difficult. So it wasn't just. I mean, to say, oh, it's my brother, and for reasons 1 and 2, that's great. But to also to give that detail of what, again, what impact or what effect or why, what does it mean to have a brother with those 2 qualities? What does it mean for you? Those are really good details to give, and that it's really going to help your answer. So the good things, absolutely, I like the details. And I like the details about why this means so much for you. Raphael, I would say to improve that answer, while I could understand what you were saying, the grammar wasn't quite good enough to get a good TOEFL score. I would want you to practice your speaking English in any way you can to improve the grammar and improve the fluency as well. Because I was able to understand, but I was having to work quite hard. My English ears were having to work quite hard to get a picture of what you were saying. So I know, again, in a native language, of course, you know what you're talking about. Of course you do. The challenge and the structure of the answer was really good as well. The challenge is absolutely to produce that in a coherent and a fluent way where grammar does not interfere with understanding. So I want to say, and Abdu, sorry, I can't have cameras in here today, or ever actually in class, because they're just quite irritating. So Raphael, thank you for practicing with us. I really appreciate that practice. That was really helpful again for us. Thank you so much. All right, well, I have time for one more. It's just good news. Zhengyu, are you happy to practice with us?
Oh, the last one.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a long time.
Yeah, and you were
I'm very patient.
Yeah, and you were
I'm
last.
very patient.
Yeah, I'm going to say a few words here. You were last in the class, which is why you're the last one to practice with us. That's why. Let me find a question for you, okay? Okay, here we go. I'm going to put this question in the box. And I think, yes, this is the last one for our class today. So again, let's take a chance for everybody to take a look at this. And but I'll ask you to give me his answer. So 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to speak. Here's your question. Where is a good place to have fun in your city or town? Describe this place and explain why it's fun. You've got 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Your 15 seconds begin now.
In my opinion, Beijing is a good place to visit. I have 3 reasons for this. And first, Beijing is the capital of the China. It's the center of economy and politics. Secondly, Beijing has a long history. It's about 3,000 years. Secondly, Beijing has a big population. and people in Beijing are very friendly. I live in Beijing for about 10 years. I enjoy this place. I have a friend. I have a lot of friends here. I like this city.
Okay, Xingyu, thanks for that. Thanks for that. I appreciate that answer. Really, what I want to go with, just to add, is that, of course, in a question like that, we need to talk about the fun. We can describe the city, and that's great to do, but in 45 seconds, we're absolutely going to have to give some details about what are the fun things to do, and why is it a fun city? What kind of activities? I mean, it could be about the activities or the events that happen in a town or a city. It could be about the people or the atmosphere. So it's very important for us to concentrate on the fun part of that question, and to make some good details and reasons and explanations and descriptions in those answers. I'm out of time. Of course I am. Always out of time in these Verpling classes. Thank you so much for sticking with me today. I hope I got through.
Class is over.
It sure is. Sorry for anyone I didn't get to today. Thanks again for your questions and your answers. And I thought some really great examples of some good TOEFL answers today in class, and that makes me so happy. I'm so happy that you can come and practice in this class, because it's so helpful to get that good, correct practice before an exam like this, and also just to improve your spoken English in general. Let me finish by sticking that one more time. There's my Facebook page. Please follow me on Verbling and on Facebook as well, so that I can give you that weekly update of the classes that I'm going to do on Verbling, which are TOEFL and IELTS and job interview classes as well this week. So take a look at that Facebook page, and thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a great night. I'll see you all again soon, okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. You are a good teacher.